Perfect. Blessings. So welcome, whether you're here on video or following us in real time. So blessed for you to be holding space for this healing. Healing yogas, we're doing this Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Make sure you have some water. Through our check-in process, we do that in the beginning, and we're focusing on low back, our foot and ankle, and just overall fluidity and mobility. We will use one of these props if you happen to have one, a ball for the fascia of the foot, or a block or some sort of prop. If you don't worry. I just want to say one thing before we get into our more fluid practice flow. Just a reminder that this is not a disciplined practice. You are most welcome to just use this space as a time to observe and reflect inward. Everything I'm offering is just offerings for your toolkit. And we know since we're all so different, it might not feel just right this moment in time. But no, it may be for you for later, or maybe for you to share with someone else down the line. So please modify and make this your own time to follow the breath. Let's start with some harmonizing. I sit on the floor, but any comfortable seated position. Bring props to support under the hips, maybe above the knees. And let's just let our arms rest down to the side. Notice the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Notice yourself pressing down through the tailbone, the sit bones, just gently nestling in wherever you find your pelvis. And then reaching out through the crown of your head from the pelvis. Inhale through the nose, maybe hands connect at heart. I love the power of Om. It's pretty simple. It's the ultimate vibrational sound that we can emanate through us. Any prayer is welcome. So you're welcome to chant 3 Oms or anything you'd like to say out loud or in your mind's eye. Let's do this together to harmonize. If you're sitting cross-legged, go ahead and switch that for yourself if that feels available. We'll just be here for a few more breaths, honoring a breath, a certain breath technique. So keep being aware of your pelvis and reach out through the crown of your head. Arm bones rest neutral on the sides of the rib cage. Visualize arms like yokes, just hanging out away from the ears. Let's do our vibration breath. So this is called Brahmari, humming bee, on the inhales naturally and exhales humming from the throat. Let's progressively get softer and softer the next few rounds. Awesome. Let's take our arms out to the sides of us, palms up. Inhale, take a lengthening stretch all the way up. and down through center, just moving through the air. Collect and gather up with the sun. Inhale. Down through center within. One more together like this. Inhale through the nose, reach up to the sun, pull this sun down through to your inner sun. Let the left arm out to the side, right arm to hip, or maybe you send it back behind the ear. Inhale, maybe follow a line with the nose tip up. Just melting here, press the opposite hip down. Back through center, other side. Follow your own rhythm. Press the opposite hip down. Maybe you're making some rotation with the neck if it feels appropriate. One more time now that we're used to it. Center, first side A. Side B. Follow your breath. Use this time as a time to come into the breath, into the body. Let's take our legs out in front of us. Excuse my yoga toes for anyone new working with me. They're my little things that I use. They're not like you need them. So hands alongside the hips. You can, let me just show. You can cushion underneath the knees with any props, pillows or blankets at any time. Just want to know what's available to you. So curl the toes back towards you, feel the backs of the legs engage, press the palms down, elbows back, and you'll notice that this allows you to lengthen from the sit bones out through the head. Just taking a few breaths here with the legs extended to your degree of feeling good, with the spine extended in this L pose. And let's talk, we haven't done this position with our alignment cues for a while. So let's just bring to mind those points we do in every pose. The pelvic floor, and feel that elevator rising towards your navel. And then the navel, like a drawstring, draws backwards and then flies upwards towards the heart, and the chin down towards the heart. Anatomically, you can feel the pelvic bowl with the rib cage and the skull all in a nice alignment for yourself, and it'll look different for each of us. So just take a few breath cycles with those areas in mind one more time. Curl those toes back towards you. And then let's try pointing the toes on an inhale, flexing the toes on an exhale. Hopefully you can see me there. And actually, I know we're doing video, but if you could just listen to me and not have to actually see me, that would be best for you in your practice, so you're not moving your neck like I am to guide. It'd be better for you to focus on your spot, and hopefully I give enough cues so that you don't have to look so much. And then let's, on the inhales, I'm gonna come this way as I talk about video. Bring the toes outward and then inward like prayer hands. Inhale, exhale. So this is our joint series circulation. We do a lot, but we're doing it in this different pose right now that we haven't done and together in a while. And then circles with the toes, circle them one way and then back. Try to come from the ankles, where the legs may move a little, but we're really focusing on ankle joint. Switch directions. I'm really working on being silent more because I'm very talkative. And then, I know you all know that. And then what we'll do, if you have a prop, you may want to move it. And you may want to bend the right leg. This will be stabilizing. And now the left leg, the hands are still now back behind you, maybe like this for support. And we knee pump. Bring the foot towards the glutes on the inhale, exhales, extend. So we're pumping all this lymph and fluids from the ankle now through the knee. We're going to get it up to the inguinal lymph nodes and then to the heart for fresh lymph and blood. And then take a pause back in center after about 6 to 8. Let's try the other side. So you can stabilize with the left, knee pumps right. You can also just lengthen with the opposite leg. It's just a little more core challenging and low back. So check in on your low back. We talked about that in our check-in process. Always being gentle. We look to find our own edge in our practice and pause before passing. All right, doing the last knee pump. Let's do these V's, the abduction. Insides of our legs come out, and then we bring the outsides of our legs up and bring the legs in. And you can see with mine how there's a difference. They're just things to witness and observe. That's differences within the way my joints move. There may be tightnesses or blockages there for me to observe. Awesome. And then we're going to come down onto our backs. So bend the knees. We're using the leg energy to support this. Press down through the feet, pelvic floor, navel, and throat. Lower yourself down to the earth, nice and supported. I felt my back really get settled. I want you to feel your whole spine supported by the earth system below. Total relaxation. So the knees come in and the feet go wide. And I'll show this way, like a little triangle. You can feel the low back supported by the earth. Take a few breaths riding the wave of the spine from the tailbone up through the head. And you're just gently pulsing with the breath, however that feels or looks like for you. Think of the space being offered around the spine, especially anywhere you're feeling tight sensation. The breath is offering space and freedom to these areas. So what we're going to do now is some mechanical cactus arm movements with our knees bent, twisted, certain ways. And I'm saying this before doing it because it can get wordy. Please try not to get lost in the words. It really will do both directions. It's all perfect. We're just looking to rewrite some neuromuscular patterns. So knees can come to about 90 degrees and then stack to the left. Take your arms cactused, elbows in alignment with the shoulders, and then take the right palm down. You can leave the left palm up. Looking opposite of the knees if it feels good. Inhale, collect and gather the knees all the way up through center, and then the arm switch. Knees right, maybe left palm down. Don't worry if it's too wordy, just follow some sort of rhythm. Inhale with your own breath as you come through center and switch the arms. Try to find movements that align with your own inhalations and exhalations. Feeling the separation in the spine between the low back and the shoulder girdle should feel nice. Make sure you're finding your edge. and pausing. So come back to side A, maybe the knees were to the left is side A, and then reverse the palm. So now right palm comes up, left palm down. And then we'll do the knees and switch again, and hopefully the arms are switched. Don't worry too much. And throughout this, a lot is happening as we're talking and doing, but we are focusing on energy movement coming from the legs and the bandhas, the pelvic floor, the navel, and the throat block, which is the pelvic bowl and the ribs and the skull in alignment as one, and you're feeling that. Let's end at that side B and come back to center. Let the arms tee out, take up some space here, wide legs and windshield wipers side to side. Feel the femur rotating in the pelvic bowl. Awesome. So I just realized I have something on the stove and I'm going to stop that. And that's not what I was going to say. Okay. So what we're going to do now is if you have a prop, I saw some of us had a prop, we can put that under our low back. If you don't, no worries. I just want you to use your extreme focus that we're cultivating to be aware of the low back. And if there's any uncomfortable sensation, go ahead and get yourself to a safe, comfortable position and follow the breath. So supporting underneath the low back if you have something available, and then coming to L pose. So we'll do legs up the wall later. And this is very similar. You're welcome to do it now. I just want you to have different things in your toolkit. And the prop underneath the sacrum, which is that flat bony plate at the base of our spine, is a really good fulcrum to just balance upon. So what we'll do is take our hand on our low belly and our heart, and let's just take a few big breaths expanding here into the hand. Awesome. And we're doing the joint circulations here now. So inhales point, exhales towards. So notice we're really in the same position. We've just changed form. We've changed planes a little bit. Kind of cool. Here the back is fully supported by the earth. Know that this support is always here for you and truly grounds you when you're feeling not grounded. Let's do toes out and then toes in from the ankle. Focusing on the ankle joint. And then circles with the toes. If you're feeling any low back sensation, lower the legs down and come back and just meet us. Follow that breath. Circles the other way from the ankle. We're moving any stuck, blocked blood or lymph, nerve patterns out of the way here. Okay, knee pumps, feet towards the glutes, extend. Visualize all this beautiful draining so that fresh, fertile minerals and soils, and I say soils figuratively, but blood and lymph can come in, all these fresh blood cells, red and white. And then we will extend, and here's our V, open out, close in. And make this your dance. I'm really big on, I want this to, for me, I share what I feel, that's all I can do. And for me, my movement practice is like a dance with myself. So it's so fun in that way. And I hope that you can kind of tap into that creative side for yourself and not feel disciplined so much, even though we are disciplining in a really positive way. Okay, so now let's bring those legs down. And we'll take the prop out from underneath us. And give yourself a big loving hug into the heart. Positive affirmations. Thank you. I am whole. I am connected. Any positive affirmation. Keep the left in, extend the right. Big hug. Maybe that left knee goes over to the right. These are everything we're doing so far should feel great for the legs and low back. If you want an audible exhale, go ahead and let it out. Inhale through center, hug the knees in. Big exhale. Right knee in, left leg extends, big exhale. Right knee over to the left. You can look opposite the knee, maybe an audible breath. I love horse breath. Not only does it make you giggle maybe, but it is great for the nervous system, the subtle part of our anatomy, to help us rest and properly understand these patterns and habits within. So we come back through center, and let's do a few bridges before we move along here. Feet in line with the hips, press down through the feet and tone the legs. You can isometrically, which means without actually moving, tone the knees towards one another, and you'll feel kind of this sensation of the muscles hugging in towards your hip joint. And then use your bandhas. Arms can be alongside of you, robot, or to the earth. Inhale, lift your pelvic floor from your legs, your glutes, and your abdomen. The shoulders are just planting for themselves, no weight on the neck, the head just supporting itself. Lower with your exhale when you're ready. So that's a lot of stuff. Let's go through it without all those words. Inhale from the lower body and the pelvic abdominal engagement. Exhales to lower. Use your glutes here if it feels okay. They are our biggest muscle in our body, and I think they get underused perhaps. So we want to target the strengthening and empowering of the biggest muscle along our pelvis. Inhales to lift. Let's do extra long lowering on the exhales. Feel the heart, the low ribs, the low back, and the pelvis. A few more times. Feel the back body, heart, ribs, low back, pelvis. Heart, ribs, low back, pelvis. Awesome. When you're complete with a few rounds of that, always take your time. You can bring your hands to your knees and just make little circles like you're massaging the low back. All right. So your choice, you can come to the side, fetal position to get your way up, or you can do this more rock and roll on the spine. I don't know if it's available to everyone, but I just want to throw it out there. It can be kind of fun. And then let's come up to standing, and we'll grab one of these ball props or a block or something you think may work for breaking up the connective tissue of our foot. And I'm going to show with a wall space. Journey over to the wall. Okay. So you don't need a wall, but it's great to just have it there if you're not feeling extra balanced today. And the harder the prop, the more intense it's going to be. The softer, the more gentle. And I'll just show with the tennis ball. So let's start with the side of you that feels less sensation, that feels like it may be more clear, no pain, or less pain than the other one. And for me, that's the left. So I'm going to tone my whole right channel from my foot to my pelvis, to my side body, to my head. And then I'm going to lift my left foot onto the prop and press on the exhales into the toe mound under the big toe and release. And exhale, press underneath the second toe mound to the third, and just go down kind of like piano keys, and go to the fourth and press, and to the fifth, and then to the arch. Do 3 pressings in the arch. The wall is there for support. You don't need it if you will feel toned and stable. And then you make your way to the heel, do 2 to 3 compressions on the exhale. And think of like you're milking or massaging the tissues of the bottom of the foot, and the reflexology, it's radiating up to the whole system, really. Okay, this is a fun one. It's all fun, I hope. And then we're in the middle of the arch, and we do these little twists from the hip and the knee. Feel this joint movement, nice and fluid, and you're pressing, compressing on the exhale. Twist and shout, twist and shout. Okay, last one here. We're going to follow lines from the toes, from the toe mound to the heel, from big toe to heel. And it's like a slide. Kind of looks like you're skiing. Second toe to heel. Third toe to heel. Fourth toe to heel. Fifth toe to heel. And then go ahead and take a little walk and just see how the left foot and leg is feeling. So now we may get to our side that feels more sensation, if that's what you did. And we'll do the same thing. Exhales, compress on the big toe mound. The second toe mound. Third toe mound. Fourth. And fifth. And then doing about 3 compressions at the arch. This is where the fascial sheath is that connects a lot of the tissues and the neurons and the blood supply for our foot. So this is a really intense area, perhaps. Keep finding your own edge and pausing, and then get to the heel and compress on the exhale. Follow the breath. Center of the arch, twist and shout, have some fun. Feel the joint from the knee to the hip. And then we do our swipes from the big toe to the heel. Second toe to the heel. Go all the way through all 5 toes. Okay. That should about wrap that up. And then just take a little walk in a circle and just notice how that feels. I'm going to situate us back. And we're going to come standing. So hopefully our legs and our feet are feeling pretty good. And have our feet underneath our hips. Lift through that arch Take the lift through the knees and through the pelvis. Tone the gluteals. So these are going to protect all of the spine. If we keep these strong and stable as our tree roots, our legs, this will really help the foundation up above. And then our thumbs spiral back and we feel the heart lift. Let's do 3 breaths, visualizing the sun and then down to center. Inhale, reach up to the sun, stretch out and down through center. Come from the feet and lift up through the head. Inhale, sun, visualize down through center, sun. Maybe one more. And down through center. Take the feet to the width of your space. Maybe you're not using a mat. Maybe it's a little wider than the hips. And then bend the knees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, big circle sweep. Bend the knees, dive down, fold. And I'll show from the side. Bend the knees as much as you can so that the low belly is supported by the thighs. Hands can go to the elbows, to behind the head, or even interlaced up to the sky. Inhale through the nose, maybe an audible breath. Exhale. Hands to your hips. Reach out through the crown of your head. Strong legs and energy alignments we talked about. Lift yourself up to a mountain, lengthening through the spine. And then extend your arms all the way up. Collect and gather down through center. So let's do this connection, more of an energetic practice, connection to the earth and the light. So feet as wide as they just were about, and you come to a squat that feels good for you, lengthening from the tailbone out through the head, and stop when you start to jeopardize that lengthening. So collect the earth, foundation, minerals, up through center, out to all, and then reach up to the sun. Bring this down through center to connect to the earth. Collect. Feel sensation along the skin. Feel the skin as one if you can. Inhale, light down through center. Last one, collected, gather, foundation, stability. Out to all, and then reach up to the light and leave this sunlight transformation down to connect to that earth. Let's come to a mountain pose again. Tone the legs, cactus the arms, elbows in line with the shoulders. Let's do a little bit of breath here. We haven't done Bhastrika for a little. So this is our forceful inhales and exhales. Please, as we say, always modify. You don't have to be forceful. If you'd like to cleanse respiratory more, so you can be forceful if it feels good. Inhaling one way, exhaling the other. And start to gently oscillate back center. Let the arms go. Take a reflection breath. And just notice, you may want a tissue. Notice how that felt. Coat hanger arms. Let them flat. Stay sturdy in your tree limbs through the legs, the pelvic floor, the navel, and the heart. And then one more time, cactus. And this time, twisting right to left. I invite you, just like when we did mechanical arms on the floor, feel similar in this twist between shoulder girdle and pelvic girdle. Awesome. And begin to slowly oscillate back center, coat hanger arms, strong legs. And then let's open up to our warrior two. So we'll take our right foot leading the way, and our left foot will come behind, and then our hips rotate out to the side. Some of our posture we do like this, where our hips are forward, but this one, we're out to the side. And just settle in. You want to lift up through the inner arches of both of your feet. Pull your front knee towards your outer toe to help engage lateral and whole thigh as one into the hip. Hands to pelvis and notice the pelvic floor rising. Hands to heart, notice the navel rising. And then radiate out your heart essence out through the hands. Focus over the front fingertips. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Left arm back behind you. Right arm goes up behind the ear or to the side of your pelvis. And lengthen. Keep the legs the same. Lengthen through the right side of you. This nice diagonal line. Maybe you make a line with the nose tip up if it feels good. And back through center, back to warrior two. Release the right arm down to be supported near the thigh. Try not to collapse. Look for a nice oblique diagonal from the left outer ridge of your foot up through the side body, maybe left arm behind ear. Maybe line with nose tip up. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Notice how we're still using leg and bandha engagements. They're just moving in space differently than we've been cultivating, but still come from them. And then back to our warrior two. Star pose. The toes come in. The limbs and our head are the 5 points here. Take up some space. And then toes out, knees follow, and come to our wide squat. And tone the legs, drop the whole pelvic bowl that we've been talking about. See if you can just kind of let it hang between the abdomen and the legs. And then feel yourself collect and gather from the 8 muscles lining the pelvic floor and upwards towards the navel. And then have the arms mirror. Inhale, exhale, push them down. Down. Pulse with your breath. And when it feels good, some natural movement, just kind of switching 1 or 2. Okay, star pose when you're ready. Woo, that's feeling warm in the legs. And then we'll do warrior two with the left leg leading. Then the left knee over the ankle. Set up with your strong tree limbs that are now spread. So they're not as stable, but you're going to try to feel intentionally just as stable as when they're right underneath you. And then your hands to your pelvis, notice the pelvic floor. Hands to heart, compassion, forgiveness, and radiate it out through the arms. Focus over the front fingertips. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Right arm can come to low back. left arm side or reverse pose here, where we lengthen through the left channel, the legs stay just the same. Maybe you follow a line with your nose. Back to warrior two, legs stay the same as long as you're feeling okay. And then left arm will then bend, support gently, not collapse. Right arm can be on the hip, or your right arm can extend back behind the ear. Look for this oblique line from the right outer ridge up through the right side head and arm. Maybe you follow a line with the nose tip. Back to warrior two. Take one more breath cycle here. And then a star pose just to reset, take a break. And then what we'll do is come on down. Oh, let's do legs up if you're gonna do that, because we're running out of time. So I'm gonna show, just in case anyone new or following along on the video hasn't seen it before, you may want a wall space clearing again, like we showed for the other pose with the ball. So we'll bring ourselves as close as feels good with our pelvic bowl towards the wall, and then kind of windmill our legs up like that. And depending on how tight the hamstrings and calves are, your hips may be farther from the wall. So that can be how you end this session today, like this, or you can come to the mat and do Shavasana later, and we'll go through different things. I'm gonna bring this closer so I make sure you can hear me well. So third time's a charm. I don't know who said that. Maybe it was like a leprechaun or something, but we're gonna do the joint circulation series this third time, and just hope that our legs are really feeling flushed and rejuvenated through our pelvis as well as through our whole body. So arms can be alongside of you or on the body, wherever feels like you are in tune with the breath more. Inhales point the toes and exhales towards. This is really all great for the low back too. And then the toes out to the side, toes in. Inhale and exhale. From the ankle, maybe you're even noticing more movement at each joint, specifically the ankle, more focused, subtle movement. Or that's not really how I want to say it. Not so much more movement, more awareness of focusing on solely moving only the ankle is more what I mean. But it's whatever you're feeling. Okay, circles with the ankles, toes following one another. Reverse circles. Knee pumps. Inhale, knees towards the glutes and then extend. Remember, we're coming to our quiet time of our practice together, so I'm really starting to speak less. Internal reflection time heightened. We know we're holding space for the internal reflection the whole time, but it's a little hard when we're looking at each other and I'm blabbing away. So it's real where we're real holding space. Okay. just gonna stop that sentence, and then we'll open up the leg. Hopefully I make you giggle a little. I'm pretty goofy. And then we'll close the legs. Inhales open, exhales close. Doing a few rounds like you're moving through water. Feel your inner fluidity. If any of those felt super extra yummy and like you weren't done yet, go back to doing more of those. If you'd like a hip opener, go ahead and take the least sensation experiencing leg and bend that one. Mine's the left side. And then it'll make a little triangle and you will slide the right down the wall. Maybe just straight is enough. If you're needing more, you'll bring that knee, right knee towards the heart to open left outer hip. Making sure that the upper body, shoulders, neck, and head are just comfortably resting. And then if you'd like, you can extend back to L and try the other side. Triangle. Sliding the left leg down to be supported by the wall. Few breath cycles here. Follow the wave of the breath from the head down the lungs, feeling it into the abdomen and tailbone. Like a figure 8 or a snake eating its own tail image. Just winding, renewal, regrowth, life, death, rebirth, constant renewal each moment. And then you can remain wherever you find yourself for an ending pose, legs up in one of the positions we've gone over, or you can come down to the earth fully, Shavasana. I'll just kind of, I'm semi showing that on the thing, but letting the limbs come out. We have a couple minutes left here. Please just take this time to observe your environment. Maybe you're noticing the sounds outwardly, smells, and then begin to softly just direct those senses inward to observe. No judgments, just being. If you have more time to offer a reflection practice, please just end class right where you are. If you're moving on into the next phase, you're welcome to bring some awareness to the physical, kindly and gently. And start to bring those senses outward again, maybe. And we'll just close with I like to close kind of like in a circle. So we started with some prayer. Let's just hold space for just 3 breath rhythms. Any prayer, any gratitude, thankfulness is welcome. So you can come to prayer mudra if you'd like, Anjali. And then just 3 breaths here in gratitude. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. Blessings. Take care and be with you soon.